Hi y'all, I'm Allison. Today marks the beginning of our next Start and Stop Buddy read. We're reading From Below by Darcy Coates. This was Rogue Rosey's choice, and I am so excited that it won because I've been dying to read this book since like last November when I bought it. So super hyped. Can't wait to get into it. Now, just to make sure everybody's up to speed on what's going on, we are going to be reading this book together. We'll have a series of videos. It's going to take a little over a week, maybe up to 10 days. Because Rogue Rosey gave us stopping points, and I'm going to turn each of those into a separate video. So we're going to have a little series going here. I will be reading on camera, reacting, speculating, guessing, oohing on, probably cowering as I make my way through. And then we get to all come together in the comments and discuss everything that's happened and what we think might happen in the upcoming chapters. And it's so much fun. So to make sure everybody's on the right page, you should have already read up to the first stop, which would be 19% in the book. So make sure that you have come to our first magical paragraph, or in this case, it was a line. And that was, the turn had carried them into one of the paths cutting across the ship's width. So you want to have read up to that point. This is in chapter 13. In the paperback, mine is on page 89. Our audio listeners, you should be around 2 hours and 23 minutes into the book. And for my Kindle readers, I think you should be about on page 92. If anybody else has a different version of the book, be sure and let me know. I will be more than happy to add your specific pages to our little stopping checkpoints in the upcoming videos. So just to confirm, mine has 469 pages. So also this time I'm going to try my very, very best to include page numbers on here. We're going to kind of experiment to see if maybe we can make this to where it's fully immersive, to where you can literally start reading the book when you play these videos. I'm going to try my best to preface anything I say with a page number. We'll see how this goes. We'll kind of test it in this one and go from there. Maybe we'll be able to make that an option for future videos coming up. But for now, hopefully you've read up to our first stop. Okay, I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm going to go get situated and we can start this underwater horror thriller. I can't wait to spend the week with Darcy Coates and y'all. So, okay, let's get situated. Okay, I'm in the living room and I've only read one Darcy Coates book, so I am really excited for this. And I am a chicken, so we'll see how scared I get. The Haunting of Lee Harker, that one got me pretty good. That one's still stuck with me. So I'm really excited for this and a little apprehensive. We will see. Y'all already know how scary it is, so you know what I'm about to get into. And I'm going to find out. It feels really weird, I have to say, to have the whole little love seat to myself. Lily is taking a nap on her pet bed. I'm sure once she figures out I'm in here, she will come join us. But for right now, I'm going to enjoy being able to stretch out, because she normally hogs the couch. Okay, I'm diving in after I find, wow, yay, my reading glasses. All of the cats are currently napping too, so it might be calm for a little bit. I'm so excited. So I just finished the first chapter. I really like how it's setting the scene and introducing us to everyone by a form of filming the intro to their documentary. So I think we've got a really good cast of characters, and I would assume that their electronic malfunctions aren't from a solar flare. It's probably something to do with the Arcadia, what's down below in the water, but I don't know what it could be. But interestingly enough, my husband's name is Sean, and he is our engineer. He works with robots at GM, so I thought that was pretty funny. So we'll see how it's not his namesake, but his name twin behaves in the book. I hope he survives, because that would be really weird for me. I really like Cove. I like her personality, and Adrian has already endeared himself to me. I think his shyness with the camera, I'm loving it so far. The water's on 2 degrees above zero. I would not want to get in that water, even if I could dive, and even if I was tempted to go diving. I've never done it. I kind of look at it as snow. It's pretty to watch on my TV, but I don't know how I'd feel doing it personally. So this dive team, they don't have much experience at all. So that looks, of course, like a recipe for disaster. So they're not going to necessarily know what to do. They're not going to have the experience to lean upon when things start to go awry, which we know they will. And Vanna, I don't know what to make of her. Their dive instructor, she seems very standoffish, but that might actually be a good thing, because I would assume that personality, she's not going to have a hard time telling people what they need to do, and she also should have the ability to squash any panic, if she's got that no nonsense demeanor to her. But it's also, it may not be very reassuring. I don't know. Of course, I'm just speculating. When I'm surprised that they're going already. I expected to have more build up before they get into the water, but I have a feeling we're just going to go right in. I take the plunge right away. I wouldn't have thought about the silts, but yeah, they have to even be careful of the way that they swim, because if they stir everything up, they can't film it. And even though they're not down there yet, I'm just getting nervous at the thought of trying to go between the narrow passages, while they're trying not to stir up the silts and everything. And I'm already picturing their suits getting ripped by the metal, and yeah, I get claustrophobic, so even the thought of it just puts me on edge. And then being without air, and they can't come up too quick because decompression. Oh. Is there something to the glint of one eye that Cove saw coming from Sean, our gloomy ROV guy? They're prepping to go into the water, and I guess he showed up, and Cove caught maybe a disconcerting look. I don't know. I hear Lily. I'm gonna move my legs before she comes. She found me. I still have leg room though. We'll see how long that lasts, because she tends to spread out. So Lily says hi. I guess Finley doesn't want to be left out. And it looks like Aiden's getting really nervous, and Vanna wants him dismissed from the dive, but I don't think Cove's going to do it. So I hope Aiden doesn't become our first casualty. I already like him. Here I am already killing him off. I don't think that these two know that cats and dogs aren't necessarily supposed to get along, because I don't know if it's obvious from this angle, but Finley is literally using Lily as a pillow. So even Cove is getting nervous. They're just about to go over the side, and Cove is nervous, but she glanced down and she saw that Vanna's hand was shook. So if their dive expert is nervous, that would be so unsettling, especially if you're apprehensive already. See, I would be panicking at this point already, just with the breathing through the tank and not being able to. I think that would make my claustrophobia just go. Yeah, I don't think I could do it. Yeah, so it looks like if it wasn't for their documentary that they were filming, that they would all want to back out of this dive. At least that's the vibe I'm getting. Ooh, I wasn't expecting a flashback. That's cool. So we're going back to 1928, 2 days before it sunk. Before it sunk. I don't know what I said. Pan. I can't even... the distress signal. They're making it difficult to hold my book. Oh, no, Finley. Oh my God. Ow. No, let go. Finley, no. Ow. He's got his claws in my hand. Okay, this was the wrong bookmark. Stop it. Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna hide this. Use this. This is to tell me I've reached today's stopping point. He cut up my hand. Well, I'm not like bleeding, but you're vicious. Pan. What could they be saying on the distress signal? I can't even think of what that could actually. I don't know. Okay, so they've got the distress call from the Arcadia. Their bodies in the wall of the ship. So 4 or 5 are dead. When they said there are bodies in the wall, are those of the dead guys, or is there something in the walls that are... Oh, hell no. Oh no. Aiden is proposing to his girlfriend. In the extra footage, he kind of snuck the camera to propose. He's given a declaration of love and a proposal. He's so dead. He's going to die. And that's going to be like a tribute footage. Poor Aiden. He's like being on Star Trek wearing the red shirt. Such a sweet proposal. That was so sweet. And he's so dead. I already love Aiden. Bless his little heart. I don't know. Maybe Darcy Coates will surprise us and Aiden will be the one to save everybody because he doesn't have any confidence. So there's hope, maybe, right? Maybe he'll make it. He'll be the hero. Let's see. If I'm going to, go off the deep end here. I don't even know what's going to happen to them, but I'm going to say, let's say, I bet Vanna, our dive instructor, she's going to be the first one to die. What do you bet? I'm on chapter 4, by the way. Page 24. Yeah, so Aiden just got his certification a week before they left shore. I'm worried for him. And Cove's thought to herself, how many times already that he shouldn't be here, that she should send him back up. But she's still going to let him go. So I'm going to hold Cove responsible if something happens to him. So her justification is that she almost wasn't able to go whitewater rafting because she was told she was too small, and her dad kind of strong-armed it and got her to go. So she doesn't want to strip anybody of their dreams. What about stripping them of their life? Safety is safety, people. Or it's just the mom and me coming out too strongly. I've noticed as I get older, I get more cautious. Wow, I knew about decompression that you had to come up slowly, but I really didn't know the science behind it with the nitrogen and everything and how the body absorbs it. And I definitely didn't realize that for 15 minutes of dive time, it could take 2 hours to decompress on your way back up. I am not a patient person. So coming back up, taking 2 hours to ascend would, yeah, I mean, I'm sure under those circumstances I would become patient, but nope. They're going down to 312 after hearing all of this, you know, what the body goes through the different depths. No, who would do this? Or has anybody gone deep sea diving or ocean or even regular scuba diving? Oh, I did forget. Okay. Oh, I was wondering why this inexperienced crew would be going down to this, but they weren't supposed to be. It was all going to be done by robots, and they were going to be on the safety of the ship. Okay, I forgot that aspect of it. So did they just do the diving classes for precaution just because they were going out there? I don't want to backtrack and I think I missed that key. Okay, so I went back and looked at the beginning because, you know, with everybody being so inexperienced with diving, I started to wonder, then what the hell are they doing there to begin with? But I forgot that the robots were supposed to be doing the diving, and the people weren't actually going to be down there hands-on exploring themselves. So it's kind of like, I guess that explains how Aiden and even Cove herself, you know, these inexperienced divers are going so deep. And my battery's getting low. I need to take care of that. So, just a minute. Now that Finley's gone, I can use my bookmark again. We're back. She's not going to be content with the pillow this time. If I put it over here for her. There, my dog's not spoiled. Not at all. Oh no, I gotta hide the bookmark. Finley's back too. Well, hello. How are you? He's standing on my arm. I forgot to turn on my mic, I'm sorry. So, kind of at an impasse here. Well, what are you doing? Where are you gonna go? Send help. Oh, goodness. Got fur on my book. Ow. Yes, I love you too. Okay. Yes. Okay. Are you jealous? I can't pet the cat. Okay. Get your fur off my book. So 3 ships got emergency messages from the Arcadia between April 17th and 18th. And they all had different coordinates. So there's definitely something going on. You know, there's some kind of electronic disturbance, I would say, based on what's happened with their equipment when they first got there, meaning the current day crew. And, you know, with the transmission, maybe. I don't know. We will see. Lily's leaning on Finley this time. Ugh. Okay, Lily, you won. You got my lap. Are you happy now? So they had lots of theories back when the ship sank and the wreckage that finally washed ashore placed the Arcada more than 100 miles from any of the coordinates given during all of the emergency broadcasts and 300 from its intended route. None of the bodies were ever recovered. So there's 684 people on board and no bodies were found. Yeah, it's odd that all of the equipment would fail. The robots at the same time. So Sean, the one who runs the robots, actually probably has the most deep diving experience aside from the instructor. And he's on board. So maybe he's going to be the one to go down and save everybody. You know, the grumpy guy. Yeah, he's got 2 decades of diving experience. I agree with Sean that, you know, it was ridiculous to let Aiden go down. And Sean should have been going down. So it looks like Sean is suspecting Roy of sabotage. Because, you know, only the equipment that would have allowed everything to go as expected, and the robots, all the technology that would have kept the people out of the water, that's what went down. So Sean's blaming it on Roy, but, you know, it might be something supernatural that did it to lure the people down there. But definitely Sean's theory holds a lot of water. More than is supernatural, you know, if you're looking at it logically from a realistic point of view. So I could definitely see where Sean is becoming disgruntled. Did you see that? That whole time she was pushing down on my leg with all of her weight. Uh-oh. Lily found her a pickle. Okay, so I guess Sean's going to go look for signs of sabotage. So Sean's going to go looking. Okay. She left her squeaker toy on the floor. I guess it wasn't as interesting as taking a nap on the comfy couch. I like how Roy is kind of looking out for Aiden and trying to keep it on the down low, you know, that silently telling him to relax and breathe slow instead of broadcasting it for everybody else to hear. I like knowing that somebody's got Aiden's back. Oh, and Roy had been with Aiden when he was doing the training, so half of the entries had been falsified to make him look eligible for the advanced course. What the hell is he doing down there? I guess, was Roy legitimately trying to just help him out? I mean, really, just... like they're sending this poor kid to his death. I can't imagine being down there and everything being slightly distorted and 40% larger. Is that what it said? 40%? Oh, makes things a third larger and 40% closer. So being if something's coming at you, it's going to feel like it's right there and it's going to be even bigger than it is. So the ship's been down there 90 years. Can you imagine how incredible that would be to actually see it? When, you know, this is one of the liners reminiscent of the Titanic in its grandeur and its look. I bet that would just be incredible. And with where it is, they're saying, you know, minimal salt content in the cold water, and there's no currents to beat at the ship. Everything's going to look, you know, almost pristinely preserved. So that would be really exciting. The history buff in me would just be like, oh, that would override my fear of diving, I think. You know, that getting down there to see it. And then I would look around and realize where I was, and then all of my fear would come back. Ooh. Aiden had a completely different reaction when he touched it. He could feel some of the material crumpled, and he got a feeling of dread and anxiety from it. He felt the danger of the place. Too big, dangerously big. Okay, so he's like holding his breath and shaking. Like, Aiden, I wonder if he's on the edge of panic. Okay, yeah, it definitely seems like he's starting to panic. So he had like a physical reaction to it, but as he is still touching the ship, completely in awe. And his oxygen is at 75%. Oh, because his ragged breathing is depleting his oxygen. So he lies about how much oxygen he has. Yeah, and that's what he learned from Roy. Fetch the numbers. So he's putting it, and not only is he putting himself at risk, he's putting them all at risk. Roy too. Roy is responsible for this. Gave him the wrong impression. He led him to believe that it was okay, that this wasn't, deadly serious business. So Aiden's banking on that reserve, saying it'll be okay. He can just dip into that and everything will be fine. If he gets his breathing under control and makes his movement smoother, be more efficient, this would be fine. So he thinks he's going to make up for that excess use. Yeah, so she's saying, keep an eye on your numbers and tell me you fall under 75. He's already at 74 and they're about to go in the ship. There's always one, right? At least it wasn't the girl wearing the white shirt running out into the rain this time. Oh, okay, so Sean is looking for evidence that Roy tampered with the equipment to enable the dive. And he's in one of the rooms, looking through stuff, looking for a screwdriver or whatnot, something that could have been used to tamper with the robots. And he just found the journal, and he realized that the writing is too neat and tidy. And it's actually Vanna's journal, so I'm wondering what we're going to find. He thought he was in Roy's room. Is there going to be, is Vanna going to have some ulterior motives? So he's actually in Vanna and Hestia's room. So the final line of her journal was, you watch as they drown. Yeah, I would definitely, I wouldn't feel any qualms about looking further into the journal after seeing that, because he wasn't going to look originally. Wow, that is a creepy passage in her diary. I wonder if she was having dreams or something about the shipwreck instead of, something sinister with the dive team. I don't know. If I saw that, I would definitely read more of this journal to find out. So if he just sets it down and doesn't read, is Deborah, the owner of the boat, going to come in and disrupt him so we can't find out what else is in this journal? Okay, the next entry he read is just as disturbing. Okay, there's definitely something wrong with Vanna. At first, I just thought that she was a little bit too maybe militant, that, she wouldn't be the most reassuring of people down there. But, she might be completely unhinged. This is crazy. Oh, I thought all of the trouble and everything would originate on the ship, and it's just going to be how the people react to it. I didn't think that there would be trouble coming from up top and from below. I love Darcy Goats. I like Roy less and less each time, with him bouncing up the ship and stirring up silt and everything. Although I still maintain he'll probably become one of the good guys in the end. I don't know, there's just something about him though. I think it's his lack of regard for Aiden, getting him on that dive to begin with, that tainted me against him. Okay, so it took 2 days for the Arcadia to sink, or whatever happened to it. Happened over 2 days based on the distress calls. So it's saying that this hole that they found couldn't have been the cause for the sinking. Okay, so Hestia was explaining that there's no oxygen where they are, or like zero. Yeah, so there shouldn't be fish, plants, or bacteria. It's as close to a sterile environment as you can find underwater, but Cove saw a fish earlier, so not as sterile as Hesty thought. I think I was calling her Hesty. It's Hesty. And I don't know if Cove actually saw something on that lower level of the ship. She did say that the ocean will mess with the diver's eyes because the human mind can't cope with looking at nothing for too long, so it'll imagine what belongs there. Oh, yeah, creepy. Okay, what is the tiny scratching, tapping noises that the shipmaster or the stockmaster heard? That would be creepy, coming across, one of the crew members, and he's just staring at the wooden wall in terror. And then he heard it himself. I want to know what they're hearing, but I don't know if I want to know what they're hearing. I'm impressed that Sean actually went to Devereaux, the captain, the owner of the boat, whatever he's called, about bringing the crew up after he found that journal, because, a lot of times they would just set that aside and not bother to read the whole thing and, wouldn't say anything. So I like that he's taken a proactive approach to this and trying to do something about it before disaster strikes. And I can understand his, hesitation, and he doesn't necessarily think that Devereaux is going to listen to him and end the expedition, but he's trying. Okay, so I didn't realize that the communications was knocked out. The ship can't communicate with the divers. They can't listen in, so they can't stop the dive. What if Vanna, what if on a previous dive, because she's done 1,000 dives, what if something from the deep got a hold of her and she's kind of possessed and she is intentionally bringing victims to the ship? Is that way out there? And she's the one who sabotaged all the equipment. Actually, I think it's a supernatural thing that took out all of the equipment, but maybe it was actually sabotaged by her. Oh. So there's nothing they can do. They just gotta wait. I didn't think about how the silt could, actually blind the divers. If enough of it stirred up, they wouldn't know. They wouldn't be able to see anything. And with the tip being tilted, listing, I think they said, 16 degrees, at the silt to that, and not being able to realize you're actually at an angle instead of being vertical. You could get disoriented so quickly, which I guess is why Cove wants to bring the dive line into the ship. Yeah. You wouldn't be able to find your way out again, and then you can run out of oxygen and... Nope. Roy's really observant, because I wouldn't have made the connection that it would be weird for all the doors to be open. They're in a part of the ship that wasn't being used, and no passengers were assigned to where they were, because it didn't sail with a full manifest or passenger manifest. Yeah, manifest. So those doors would have been kept closed. So why would they be open? Something came and opened them. And the latches could have given out. I'm with Roy. It's kind of weird. Oh, yeah, did they throw open the doors looking for something? She scared herself with the mirror. Saw something floating in front of her. It wasn't a window, but a mirror. Oh, the room was damaged before it sank. Found a bathroom. The tiles were cracked or coming out of the wall wholesale, and the grout was coming. Yeah, so the destruction in the bathroom scene some of it had to have happened before it went down. Was there a fight or a struggle? So Aiden just said his oxygen level's at 78. I wonder what he's really at, because he was at 74 when they went in. And he stirred up some silt, and he probably got anxious by doing that. So, yeah. I don't know. There's writing on the wall. That might be a sign or something. Okay, that was really creepy with them trying to figure out what was written on the wall in the frantic lettering. They came through here. Oh. That would be creepy. Again, I know it's a horror movie. They don't know they're in a horror movie. Well, Aiden might, but because the poor kid's already scared. And Cove's definitely on edge. Yeah, if I would have saw that, I'd be like, okay, I'm going up. I'd be like, who's they? Because, I mean, that's not something you would just, especially for a shipwreck with the ship going down, you wouldn't put, they came through here on the wall. It would, yeah, finding the context for that under normal circumstances, be no reason for that to be painted on a wall. Oh, but they know, they've already heard that, you know, the message, so they know there was something through in the walls. So, yeah, maybe they do know they're in a horror movie, or they're figuring it out. There's another line going around the corner. Came through here and went into the floor. Okay, if I had seen that message and then the ship groaning like it did, I would have been like, nope, it's time to go up. Oh, that would have been, I can't even imagine how unsettling that would have been to hear that ship groan like that, because it shouldn't. It's been sitting there for a long time. There's no settling to be done. Oh. And Aiden's voice is softer, almost whistling. Is he running out of air already? Is he getting close to being on his reserve? He was skittish to begin with. Okay, we're going 10 days before the sinking. Okay, that was unsettling between Harland and Fitz back on the Arcadia 10 days before it sinks. But the fog, what's up with that fog? Is there something in it that's causing it? And apparently a lot of people died while building the ship, so maybe the ship is cursed. And what's really telling is that the passengers just sitting in the mess crew, because they're sensing it too. If it's a saying that nobody's sleeping well, they're all hearing the scratching. So things are definitely amping up. And I've got just a couple of paragraphs left. Okay, so I reached the first stop and I'm liking it. It's definitely got a slow start, you know, as far as the suspense and the creep next. You know, it's just being laid, I think. Everything's about to start unfolding, and I am really enjoying it. I'm not surprised by the slower start based on the other book that I read by Darcy Coates, but I have a feeling this is going to get quite intense, especially as things start to unravel and we know what we're dealing with. I'm definitely seeing this as a movie. I can picture it. I've watched plenty of, you know, movies where they're doing the salvages or anything, so I can kind of picture their environment they're in when they're underwater, and it's just, yeah, that creeps me out. So I don't know, what do y'all think? Do you think that Vanna, what do y'all make of her journal? That's got me really wondering, is she just completely unhinged? Is, you know, maybe all those times she decompressed, does that mess with her mind? All that deep diving, you know, because the science of it seems like it'd be pretty hard on your body. What about what it does to your mind? So I don't know. I think she's just a red herring, an obvious red herring. And I wonder how low Aiden's oxygen level is at already. I'm betting he's in his 60s, maybe 50s. Do you think? I don't know. He's going to be in serious trouble. And he's going to put everybody else at risk too. That's the worst thing about it, as, you know, he didn't want to call off the dive, so he didn't say anything, but he's risking all of their lives, right? Because then they're going to have to try and get him out of there quickly, which you can't do. They've got to do a timed, slow ascent back up to the surface. So I don't know. It's a really good foundation, and I am really excited to get back into it, but we have to wait. So I won't pick my book back up until Sunday, so day after tomorrow, because I got to get this edited so I can share it with you. So let me look and see what our next stop is going to be. I don't think there's really anything else to go over at this point. Like I said, we're still getting to know the lay of the land. Okay, so our next magical paragraph is going to be at 34%. That'll put us in chapter 21. Paperback, that is going to be page 158. Kindle, page 164. An audiobook, that'll put y'all at about 4 hours and 16 minutes. So when you go somewhere most people can't or try something dangerous, there is always a fee. When you get to that line, close your book and wait for the video to come out. So that will be our next stopping point. Now, if you're coming to this later and the whole series is up, or at least the next video already, then I challenge you to wait at least 24 hours before picking up your book and proceeding on to our next stop. It'll give you some time to digest everything that we have read so far, let it sink in, and maybe you'll make some observations that you missed during your initial reading. I'm sure I will have some new thoughts popping up in my head. So I can't wait to see what y'all think at the beginning of this and discuss it in the comments below. So let me know what you thought. And if you don't necessarily want to, join a discussion or toss out any thoughts of your own, then just say hi and let me know where you're at, because I love seeing where everybody is and how we're all brought together through books. I think it's awesome. All right. Well, from Texas, I'm saying bye for now, and I hope to see you day after tomorrow as we continue from below. Lily says bye too.